¿Qué lo que mi gente? Soy Jarard Kenneth y este es el WatchMeWork Podcast.
Así es. Yo, escucha. Mírame trabajar como tigre, tengo propósito. Así pues yo me liberé de la esclavitud. Y dentro de la mente hay una actitud del orgullo negro, hay poder en el espíritu. Santo Dios, yo me voy pa'lante, pa'lante. Como elefante, sé que yo soy tan grande. No puedes pararme, prego con mejorarme. Nadie puede asustarme, yo vengo a armarme. Así pues, tú no quieres problema. No llores que venceré este sistema con excelencia negra, inteligencia negra, elegancia negra, todas son nuestras, sí. Tú no quieres problema, estamos trabajando con nuestra bandera, con excelencia negra, inteligencia negra, elegancia negra, todo está negra, sí.
It's time, AP.
Yeah, welcome to the Watch Me Work Podcast. It is your boy Adonis with two eyes, Mr. Watch Me Work himself. And we're sitting here with my brother, the money man, Boo Boo. What's happening?
What's going on, man?
What's happening? You good, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, another day, another day of prosperity, another day of success, right?
Always. Man.
Always.
Even on the weekend.
Even on the weekends. You feel me? Got to get it in. And today we got a special guest. I got one of my brothers from out here who's talented in so many different ways. Talk about a true artist. And he can hit you bilingual. You know what I'm saying? Bilingual, and he's going to spit it out eventually. You feel me?
Oh, okay. After I was just struggling. Okay.
Everybody welcome my boy, Jarard Kenneth.
Yo, what's good? What's good, y'all? I appreciate y'all having me out here, man.
Oh,
Man, listen,
coming,
again,
man.
the push from San Antonio to here is a good 2.5 hours. This man came down to support and to get his promo on for your boy in the Watch Me Work Podcast.
Word.
Man, it's been a couple years too, man. How you been?
It's been okay. Well, nah, life is life.
I figured I knew that was coming. Life is life. Hey, sometimes that's how I work out and everything, but you making it work though. I assume. Little girl, how's she doing?
She is good. She'll be 3 in July 23rd.
Hey, happy birthday. What's her name? What's her name?
I don't mind. Eliana Maya Arnold.
Man, what's up, little Maya?
Yeah.
You might hear my little niece running around here somewhere. Little Zaya, shout out to you,
man. If my daughter was here, she'd have been running around right now, bro.
Going in,
trying to
going.
see what y'all, whatever your niece is doing, she's gonna be trying to follow up right behind her, trying to see what she's doing, just excited.
So. All right, I'll feel it. Let me see. Hold up, my mic is. It look like it's turning red. Turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
All right, that should be cool. All right, so, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get this interview started. I'm gonna start like I plan on starting all my interviews.
Okay.
And of course, it's a bite off of movie, and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't sue me for it. But when did you fall in love with art?
With art?
With art.
Shoot.
It'll take you back, don't it?
Make you think of, like, you got to think real hard about it.
Just
sometimes.
art in general?
Art in general, because it had like what you love had to start from somewhere.
You can even go as far back to the first time you even wanted to create something.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean I could. That's okay. Okay. So, it had to be, at least for a memory's sake, right around the age of 4.
Okay.
Now usually it's like, I would say, my mom was singing, but my actual first memory in reference to music was a friend of mine's. Well, he's not really a friend. Well, we were friends. We're like acquaintances at this point now because we're older. We don't talk. No bad reason, just being adults.
Just growing up and moving on.
Exactly. So
childhood friend.
Exactly. His mother. So his name is, I don't mind saying his name. His name is Harvey Davis. He's a phenomenal singer, songwriter, musician. He's from Saginaw, Michigan as well, and I believe he still resides in Atlanta. So he does some things there in Atlanta. But his mother, Miss Terry, as a kid, my mom she would take me over to the house for like children's choir,
right?
Because we had a little children's church thingy going on back home, and she played the flute, and I was always like,
how old was she?
Bro, no.
She was older?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Because we, they're all in the same age range.
Right.
So my mom was like, how old is my mom going to be this year? She's 66.
60 something.
Yeah. No, I don't care. No, she'll be all right. She'll be all right. She Deborah ain't on that type of time, bro. She don't care. But 66. So Miss Terry is probably the same age as her, or she's like a few years younger or a few years older. But I just remember when she would tell us our notes, she played the flute. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that's kind of like my first memory. I don't even remember the songs we were singing. I don't know.
You just remember the flute.
Yeah, I just remember the flute always stuck out. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool.
You said when she told you the notes, she'll play the flute?
Yeah, she was playing the flute.
So break that down. What did like?
Nah, she would, hey guys, sing this melodic note or this melody, and she would play the flute, and we would listen to it, and then we would sing it back.
So,
because we were all singing in unison. Yeah.
So you didn't know exactly what notes you were singing.
No, she was just like, hear it, da 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 da. Now, what's weird is that around the time I was 7. Like, I grew up listening to music, period. But that was like the first time I was like, huh, that's interesting. Like, a lot of us, we all grew up hearing music, but that's my first memory that stuck out the most. And so, right around the time I was 7, now my mom been singing, obviously, since forever, and that's another, bro, I don't know where I'm going to go with that, because there's some stuff I probably can't even talk about. No, in reference to my family, because it's like, it's crazy. I actually have a musical history, especially on my mom's side, but it's like, anyways,
you don't have to go that deep into it. Let's keep it as close.
Some stuff I have to take to the grave with me. It's crazy.
Right. Let's keep it as close to yours.
Okay. I'm 7 years old. I'm sorry. I'm 7 years old, and my mother is like, "Hey, I'm going to be doing the children's choir now.
Yeah.
I need you to sing this note." I sing the note, and she's like, "Okay, you're going to be in the children's choir." And so, been doing that ever since.
And you said that's like 7?
That's 7, and I don't draw like I used to. I don't remember when I really started drawing, like as a little kid. I just remember watching Dragon Ball Z.
Man,
see, that's where it all first started, right there.
When Goku still had the tail, and he was on flying Nimbus.
Look, man,
you had to have the hair coming down,
bro. So this is 1990. No. For me, it was 96. So it was on Fox. Because y'all from the Midwest, right?
Yeah.
Midwest,
yeah. So we got Fox, right? Well, everybody's Fox, but it's like back home it was Fox something.
Fox 6 or so. It changed. It changed all the time. The channel.
So it was like a Sunday morning. And I was watching Ronin Warriors, but I didn't know that was an anime at that point in time. And Sailor Moon. I didn't know these were anime.
Me neither. Sailor Moon was the shit too.
Right. I thought these were cartoons. So what'd you say?
It's Dragon Ball Z anime.
Yeah, but I didn't know what anime was back then. Like
that's Dragon Ball Z, one of the originals.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even Dragon Ball Z then. It was just Dragon Ball.
Yeah. No, I got introduced to Dragon Ball Z first, and then I started like learning later on about Dragon Ball. I didn't know anything about Dragon Ball.
I was watching Dragon Ball every week.
What?
On it, yes.
We used to run home from school.
Yeah.
Like, it's the new episode. We got to get there and
get there. You remember the damn Cell series when we waiting all this time for them to actually start fighting? We up here hurrying up and running back for nothing to happen on the episode.
Because they went back to an old episode.
Right.
Back to Namek.
It'll be a new episode. It'll be a new episode, but it's like there's nothing going on the episode. It's like another setup episode of them trying to find the androids, or the androids trying to find Goku or something like that.
That did initiate some of a lot of people who watch Dragon Ball, the creativity. Because we wanted to draw and imitate all of that, man. I remember that was some of our first drawings, trying to see who could draw the better Vegeta, the better Goku.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
You feel me?
I drew that, and I would read comic books a little bit, so I was really into like Spider-Man at one point and drawing all that stuff. So it went from that, and then I'm jumping through like a lot of like different points in life. And then right around 16, 17, I got introduced to photography and graphic design, like real photography. When you go into like the dark room or whatever they used to call it, and develop the film. We had this thing back home called the Saginaw Career Complex. And so it was almost like you were learning a trade, right? But it was like, I don't know why they did it like that. So your 11th and 12th grade years, you would like spend half the day at school, and then you would go across town on like the west side and you would take another, just the rest of that day, you're in this other class, and it was like a trade.
Michigan is still weird though.
It was weird, y'all. Michigan is weird, bro. Like the older I get, the more I realize I was like, ew. I was born and raised here, though. Okay.
I always have a lot of shit to talk about Michigan. Go bro, Buckeyes. OH.
Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay, come on, man. Let's not do that. Nah. So I'm more of like rah Sparta and kind of in about the Wolverines. Pistons is,
I'm cool with Michigan. I'm cool with Michigan State. I'm all right.
Yeah. No, I'm still mad about the Lions in reference to the Super Bowl for this year. No, they supposed to have. I said, what happened? I said, this has to be scripted. Have y'all got on TikTok and looked at the foolishness?
Yes.
He's like, all the time.
It's got to be scripted at this point.
Got to.
Yeah, they wanted Patrick Mahomes to win. But let's get back to you. 16.
So 16, 17. So I'm learning about photography and learning about graphic design.
Which he actually, when my book Look Past My Pain came out, he actually did the graphics for my pre-sale and everything for
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fun doing that. So that's pretty much it. Artistry. So it's like I can't say like this is what I think the best way to say is like when I actually fell in love with art. 2000, in the 2000s.
Was it music?
But this is in reference to music, but it's still art. Right around 2000s, I was really like, the feeling was different. Neo soul was pretty much at its like close to its pinnacle of being like
avant music.
It's still around.
That's when it was like kind of trouble. That's back when Soulja Boy was starting to mess stuff up.
You start seeing that. Yeah, so right around. So literally a little bit after 2002. Well, I leave for the military, so we're still like the Midwest. We're this smorgasbord of like different sounds from everywhere. So it's like,
I mean, Detroit, Motown. You know what I mean?
Well, definitely,
of course. Yeah. So when we get when we hear these different sounds, we're like, oh no, that's cool because of Detroit, and like usually they used to like sample things from Motown, from old school stuff that we all grew up listening to. But it's like you start seeing this. Well, there's always been a shift. But it's like when you got older, you start noticing the shift happening a little bit faster. And you're like, snap. So by the time I'm like in the military, like we were already hearing about, you had your Master P's and, you know what I'm saying, like
Camerons, all them,
Neo Soul, that's, for me, you had that, you had like that's like a subgenre of R&B, but you had like, the pop R&B, you had like
you mean like that's when the Floetries and everything came out too.
You had all these different people, but the reason why I say it like that is because I looked at it from like a romantic love perspective. Right. That's when I really started falling in love with art.
Yeah, like music really, groups.
At this point in time, art for me was emulating life as an adolescent. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, you know what I'm saying? We Hollywood was still doing this thing with the rom-coms and all this stuff. And you just like, bro, I gotta find me a nice little brown skinned shorty to just be googly eyed over there. And
Chris Brown dancing too. You know
what I'm saying?
Boy, that boy. You know what I'm saying? Up here getting it.
Yo, they
fixing my hat.
I saw a clip on TikTok. And they showed, it was like a commercial from BET, and he was just, I said, bro.
Getting it.
I said, what was going on?
Getting it.
But yeah, for me, that was like when it was like this budding, like, I love art. Yeah. Because art was really, it felt like for me, it was
authentic.
It was authentic. It was emulating life. And this is why when we think about music, we say, I miss this time. Yeah. I miss this sound. I miss these lyrics.
Right. The 90s. Yeah.
What's crazy is that even though we're seeing a lot of toxicity now, that stuff has always been around.
Yeah.
But as kids,
we don't see it. We don't know what it is and everything. We being kids and being in a kid's place.
No correlation right there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But it was always there. But it was like we weren't really in the kids' place. We didn't really see. We would see our parents, and then it was like, okay, they back together. Or they date somebody and they back together. And then we hear this romantic music and we see these movies, and we're thinking life is supposed to be like this, and it's supposed to be a happily ever after.
Right.
Right. And so like none of of that stuff never changed. It's just that the older that we get, and we're a different generation,
the more we experience and have knowledge of it
ourselves.
Like
all this stuff is just like it's just an onion finally getting peeled back and saying this is what was really going on,
right?
And that's why when we think about the nostalgia of like music and R&B, we're like, we miss being like this. We miss
having them rose colored lenses is what I like to say.
We miss that, and I get it.
You can just listen to the song.
Yeah, bro. Like the other day,
I mean, there's some songs that you be like, man, we used to like that song.
that too, bro. Yeah. So I was listening to Amory. Now we understand that the official day of summer doesn't start till like what, June 20th or something.
It's like the 21st this year. 21st this year.
He said Amory.
It's Amory. That's like the official fall in love summertime song for our generation. Yeah. But it was a feeling, and I'm like,
you talking about her and Fabulous?
No, the original one. The Why Don't We Fall in Love?
Okay, yeah.
Like her initial single.
Okay.
And so it's different now in reference to like older. Life's been lifing. You've been through all types of relationships.
You can feel what she's talking about.
Like it's different, but he's like, you want to put on those lenses, but you're just like, I just can't do it.
But I mean, that's around the time you got your first piece and everything, and you start really finding out what love is. So that summer coming. You
know, also too with that age and experience, you feel me? That makes that art form more appreciative as we go on. When we were younger, we knew it was tough. We knew it was dope. Yeah. But once we been through it and saw her, we can really relate. And actually, it's more than a song.
Yeah. Oh no.
You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think the older that we get, which goes back to the nostalgia, the more we appreciate what was being talked about. And now we're like,
that's what we're talking about.
Matter of fact, we was just talking about that when we was watching Martin the other day. How we like how they saying certain jokes, like adult jokes, and how it went over our head back in the day. Right. And we watch it now. It's like, wait a minute, they were nasty as fuck.
Yeah,
man,
like on TV at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, I didn't know they got down like that. Now I'm sitting here watching, like I'm watching Martin now. And it's just like, man, like I'm catching all these jokes, and they're like the episode when Martin was not eating food, and she cooked the meal, and he came up on the table and everything. Like Gina's sitting there doing this thing where she moaning while she eating the food, bro. I'm sitting there like wow, like I didn't know
she ran out with her head stuck in the
headboard.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Getting knocked down.
Like stuff didn't. Like we didn't pay attention to that kind of stuff because the only thing we knew was missionary.
Well, okay, now. But now,
you're wild, bro.
I do have a question.
Like, why is her head right there? When she acted like a little kid, got stuck, and now she can't get her head out. You know, Gina had a big head. It's like,
she had that down. But I have another question. So we can see when you first fell in love with art. Yeah. I have a kind of a specific question, but it's whatever. When did art really start to become profitable for you? Man. You feel me? When did you say, I can get something out of this? And what was the first one? Where did that?
Bro, that is a rabbit hole, y'all.
Don't dig too far into it.
Y'all gotta keep me grounded. Because I done already went on a couple tangents already. Make sure
it's all
y'all
good.
be y'all brother's keeper.
I
got to keep grounded. So, right before I moved here to Texas, I'm in my... Dang, how old was I then? I think I was like 28.
Okay.
And I was still living in Kentucky. After my duty station, I just stayed there. So I was just like, I want to, you know what I'm saying? It was more than just like wanting to get signed and get a deal. And I was like, bro, I need to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? How do I make money off of it? And I was trying. That's all I can really say. I was trying because, the sound changed if you're in a different city or state or whatever, people's mindsets are different, especially from a local perspective.
Yeah, the music that you like and the music that you end up growing to like where you were is something completely different when you go somewhere else.
It's day and night, man. And for me, I was doing different things because of the stuff that I like to hear. So that's why you would hear me do stuff in like Spanish and English, because that's just something that I enjoy doing.
Right.
And other people was like, why are you doing that? I remember it was these guys from the Dominican Republic. I was really like a real neo-soulist. I'm still kind of like that now, like in certain songs. But I was doing something, and they was like, man, we love your voice. You sound great, but can you sound like Chris Brown? I said, hey, bro. Man. Now, don't get me wrong. Chris Brown is nice. Yeah. He's nice. But I was like...
You want to sound like you. I
want to sound like me. Yeah. So for me, it was just like trying to figure it out. As far as it being profitable, that is still an ongoing thing. This is why I'm going to keep myself from going down the rabbit hole. I'll say it like this. In reference to what's going on with the music industry, it's ridiculous. And let me just... I'm going to land up playing on this one, but let me just go off for a sec. If you are a music lover, you don't make music, but you're a music lover, I need you to understand the plight of artistry and musicianship concerning the music industry in its entirety. Man. You can go to your Spotify's, you can go to all these different DSPs to get your stuff, but understand that we get paid less than a penny. There is a law right now that they're trying to pass in the House to where can you just give me 1 penny per stream? You know,
because it's ridiculous. You get like a fraction of a penny per stream.
Bro,
I think it's like 0.002. It's not even half of a cent. Like that. It's not even half.
So when, mind you, we grew up in the realm of, pirating. Buying the CDs first, right? Going to FYE and I don't know what y'all had in like Ohio and stuff like that. I know
2 Live Music.
That sounds familiar. I don't know if we had that. Maybe we did.
No, 2 Live was somebody locally.
Oh.
See, I was using LimeWire and...
Oh, no, I started using LimeWire. Don't get me wrong.
But you talk about the days when you actually go to buy CDs.
Well, we had to go pull up to the grocery store food nights, and when you had your mans that was selling it, you know me, but they always dubbed it.
Yeah. But he most likely, but in Ohio and Akron, he most likely went and got it from 2 Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 Live was the spot.
I was in Cali. I was in. I went to Cali when I was 10, 11.
Oh man, so it was just different over there.
Yeah, it's different, bro.
Yeah.
Man,
before he was actually.
That was 2005.
Oh wow.
2005.
Yeah, because that's when I got back from Iraq the first time.
Okay.
And I was trying to get you over there with me, and it's like, no, he about to go to California with his other brothers. I'm like, bet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but around that time, I'm not even in Ohio anymore, but I'm only a few years gone, couple years gone. Like I graduated in 2003.
Okay.
So like the local music store that we had and everything, we had the FYE, but it was in the mall.
Yeah,
it was in the mall. Too. Yeah. But the outside the mall, we had only place that sold music and sold albums, sold records and stuff.
Like
was 2 Live Music, and everything. It started off small and it like got big and everything. But you can go in there and get vinyl, you can get tapes, and when CDs came out, they had CDs.
But that is a cold part of the game too, which I think you was probably about to get along to with the streaming and then the bootlegs. How much money was an artist actually really making in reality? It like if we was to stop cutting the bootlegs out.
Well, a lot of them who had the bootlegs, they had the barcode printed up on their thing, and
excuse me,
that's
a finesse.
But it wasn't their barcode and everything.
It was a fake barcode.
It was a barcode to the actual album. They just copied the barcode and used that as
multiple copies of the same exact CD.
Of the same
so
CD.
So they basically just reduplicated the CD.
Right, that's it. And they selling it for what they sell it for, but the artists still get credit for it at the same time.
Oh, that's
the same thing that T-Pain was doing too. Like he he took a song and he remixed it into his song.
Yeah.
But he never got rights to it.
I think I remember.
Yeah, he never got rights to it. So every time the song spun, it gave the original person credit for it. And he let him keep it, and he let him keep it on there because he was getting credit for all the spins that T-Pain was getting.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure. See, that's fair. So, but in reference to what's going on now,
right.
like it's hard. Y'all thought it's hard for mainstream artists. As an independent artist, I put it like this: it's more. This is answering your question in reference to how profitable is it? It depends on how popular you are, and it has nothing per se to do with your music.
Like,
so I would say I'm still on the hill.
Well, that's
of it
probably
being profitable.
That's probably for the mass majority, though,
bro.
I don't know, man, because I like, like me being from, different areas. You know, I got the Midwest, and then I got the West Coast.
North and West Coast at that.
And then
North Coast something different.
I spent 6 years on the East Coast, South Carolina.
Okay.
That, I guess it depends on the person. It depends on the person.
Yeah, but that ties into what I'm saying. Yeah. So you're not wrong. It depends on the person in reference to, like, if these people gonna ride with you or not, or if they're gonna listen to. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, it's if you're different, that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And we're all created to be that way. We're not created to be some drone and we're all the same way. And everybody in the country likes the same exact thing.
For the masses and what they put on the radio and stuff like that, you have to be popular.
So, but here now,
but the radio stuff, you gotta fit some criteria of what they're trying to use as propaganda.
So I'm gonna get to that. So the next thing, and this all correlates. So to answer your question, I'm still on my hill.
Yes, sir.
Before I get to the top, I'm literally still on my hill to answer your question.
But he's a beast at everything.
I'm trying my darndest. I don't know if it makes other people feel some type of way. I don't know what I don't know what to tell you. That's just how God made me, brother.
All good. It's just not your turn.
Y'all better figure it out for yourselves. Right. You know what I'm saying? These are my gifts and talents. They got gifts and talents that they're really dope at. I can't do it. And I don't feel no way. I'm just like, look,
I can't do what you do.
No. But I'm saying, like, but even from that perspective, it should be like, yo, you're dope at this. Yeah. Okay, help me, because I'm not good in that area.
Right.
Oh, Jarard, you're dope with this. Da-da-da-da-da. Booty, you dope with this. Help me, da-da-da-da-da. Right. And it's just like...
Instead of having to figure certain things out on your
own. Or in some cases... I thought I was snapping on somebody. So, in some cases, some people... And I went on a tangent, so I'm going to reel it back in. It's some people look at certain things... I got a good story. Some people look at things like it's a competition.
Yeah.
When in one perspective it should be a compliment,
a cooperation.
That's tough right there,
versus a competition.
Yeah.
Put that in quotes right there.
It should be more of a cooperation versus a competition. I understand, like, especially as men, we rah, but in certain cases like this, like, look at y'all are working together and there's no competition. It's like, I got this idea. Hey, I think I can make this work. What can you do? Bet. Run it. Right? But in certain cases, that's not the case. There's a brother here, I'm not going to say his name. I remember when I was still living here, I don't know how I came across him. For some reason, I came across him. It was weird and random. And he's an R&B singer. And he was like, yeah, I opened up for Genuine. And I was like, oh, dope. I said, you probably know who it is. Because I don't know when it happened. I think it was like 2016, 2017. I don't know how I met the dude.
Male
which
singer?
is... I know his name.
Go ahead. Don't say it.
No, I'm not going to say his name. And so I said, hey, how did you do that? And he just gave me, you know how you get some new shoes? I don't know if y'all this type. I don't like this type of people. So if y'all this type, please forgive me. I'm just letting you know I don't like these type of people. Hey, man, that's a nice jacket. That's some nice shoes. Where'd you get that from? Oh, well, you know, man, I got it from around the way. Nigga, where did you get it from?
Foot Locker.
Right. Where did you get it from?
Amazon.
Listen, look, this jacket,
and it costs this much, bro. Get this jug right now. Go get it.
I got from TikTok.
You feel
and
me?
I like them. This and this from TikTok. For real.
Hey, that's nice.
For real. From TikTok.
Right.
Make it work.
Right.
I just went to the mall. Where did I go? The Champions? Was it Champions? No, there's some other shoe store in San Antonio.
I mean, it worked when they got shoes that fit you.
But I'm sorry. Well, I feel good about myself. Well, thank you. Bro, because they be coming at us short people sideways.
Look, it don't have nothing to do with tall or short. It has all to do with damn shoe size.
Oh, my goodness. Nah, it depends on how fly the shoe is. If the shoe is really fly, my shoe size is out of here.
Gotta order my shit.
It's gone. No, but so in reference to that, to the brother, I said, hey, man, how did you do that? He was like, well, it was just shucking and jiving. And I was like, nigga. I was like, okay, bro. And I never forgot that. About that dude.
Right.
So, mind you, I forgive him, but I'm never going to forget that.
Right. He gatekeeping.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You're not somebody I could kick it with now.
Like, if somebody asked me that, I'm like, oh, I went here. I talked to this person. Or I did this.
I'm going to give you the hookup because I got the hookup.
Right. Or I'm going to at least show you the path to get there.
Right.
Like, this morning, this young lady from New Mexico, she ran, I made a text on Threads, and I was talking about how I'm moving my music over from one distribution company to another. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is rough. Like, some of the stuff, I don't have to, like, mix again. It's straight, so I can just send it over, but I still got to do, like, the admin stuff. I was working on the track last night. I finished remixing it because I was like, I'm going to re-upload it because I didn't like how the mix was. It was, like 2019, 2020.
Right.
So I finished it. But anyways, I'm talking about that, and she started asking me questions. Well, what about this, and what about this, and what about that, and what about this? And I was like, well, one, I could have been just like, Google it.
Right.
no, right. But because I already know the information, I shared it with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, and it was just a simple question. Did you use this? Yes. What about that? Do you need that? No. You can do it that way, or you can go about it da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, what about this? Gave her an answer. Well, what about that? You got to consider this, and this. Thank you.
Simple as that.
I got the information. I have a...
that's because you actually know what you're doing, too.
Well, yeah, but I had to learn, but then somebody else told me, right? There's been a few instances where somebody just, like, randomly would throw out a golden nugget. I'm like, oh, okay, let me go research it. And then, you know what I mean?
You threw out some golden nuggets in this interview already. People know certain things about how the industry works, especially as far as the streams and everything.
It's dangerous.
Add something on top of that. Like, so you say you get a certain account per, like a certain pay. Like, when do you start getting paid for the streams? So how many streams do you get before you start getting a check?
It depends on how you set your stuff up with your distribution company that you use. You can say, give me $1,000 when I hit, like, when the streams add up to $1,000, cut my check. You can say it at $100. You can say it at $10. It just depends on what distribution company that you use. A TuneCore, a CD Baby, a DistroKid, United Masters, Ditto. There's a bunch of other ones. There's one I was listening to recently with the R&B Money podcast with Cool and Dre. They were guests on Tank and Jay Valentine's podcast this morning. All the time. And so they said, hey, we're doing a distribution company too called Nebula. And it's like Nebula Distribution. It's like, we got the connects, I'm like, I would have signed up for that, but I'm already started, you know what I'm saying, started my little path to this other distribution company. Right. So, but again, it just depends. But to get, like, with Spotify, to get about like $4,000
a month,
if that, you got to get, well, what did you say for that 1 month, right? You have to have like 1 million streams, bro.
And that's
you gotta be popping.
No.
That's like 480,
bro.
When you do the math, because you say you only get paid like
pennies, not even full pennies.
A stream. So if you get 1 million streams,
it equates about to like $4,000 to $5,000 for like that payout for that particular month, and then.
You got to hit that every month in order to get just
because it stays at 1 million streams at one time, you get paid for that 1 million streams, but the next month
you got to have another 1 million streams.
You got to have another 1 million streams. It ain't no recoup.
I thought
type of thing.
I thought once you hit it, then you get like a check every month.
Nah. With sync licensing,
you gotta have almost like 100,000 or like 90 something.
Yeah, those folks gotta be like actively listening to your stuff. Yeah, they gotta be actively listening to your stuff. Now, some artists, it's like that, but then in the same breath, you got bots, you got Y'all.
Man.
It's a cold-blooded game.
Listen, the company themselves got bots. Like,
and AI can tear stuff up right now.
Listen, it's ridiculous. And then on top of that, this is why I'm saying regular music listeners, if you're not an artist, if you're not a singer, songwriter, MC, producer, engineer, but you love music, go and find out if your favorite artist that's an independent artist has like their own website, has a Bandcamp, has some type of way to where you can actually purchase their music, do some, you know what I'm saying? See if they got some type of merch so you can support them, because these DSPs don't care.
Right.
They're finessing, but they're banking on the regular listener not knowing. They're like, oh, this person is famous, oh, this person is popping. Yeah. They don't need my help. Like, no, like you know what I'm saying? We really need y'all help. Like when you hear about the stuff with TLC from back in the day when we were young, right. They said between the three of them, they each made $50,000. Yeah. But they sold millions of records and made millions of dollars.
They signed that 360 deal,
bro. That's basically, and they didn't realize it. They said they had just won a Grammy, and God bless them.
They won a couple of Grammys.
Yeah, but this particular year, no, you're right. That particular year, they won about, I don't know, about like 2 or 3 Grammys. Because they was like the best selling, the most selling like female group of that like time frame.
They had female group. They had best new group.
They was killing it.
They had like best video, and
bro,
they won Grammys for a lot of stuff. They won like 5 or 6 Grammys, I think.
So
one album.
The aunties, because they pretty much old enough to be our aunties, right? So the titis, they basically said, y'all, we are broke. They said that on live TV.
They only got me by a couple of years.
They said we are.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, if you watch the biopic that they have, not the one on Lifetime, the one on Hulu. You know, they have that part on there where they talked about, and they did all the math about that and everything, the 360 deal, about how they use all the income that they make to pay for everything, and then what's left over is what they get, while the companies like getting they 40-50% off top. They get their 40-50% off top, then what's left out of that 40-50% is what they use to pay everything that they had needed for the tour, they backup dancers, the equipment, all the shit, and then to pay them all out of that same thing.
It's a finesse. Right. And the same thing is going on now, right? So if you, again, I can't stress this enough, because I'm like, I don't think we're outright. Some of us are saying it. Some of us, it's like, I'm like, we're talking to other creatives, and we're saying, hey, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, but you got to talk to the average listener. When I say average listener, this is no disrespect. Yeah. I'm really like, you don't make music, but you are a connoisseur for it, or you love it, or you love just doing your digital crate digging for different artists and stuff like that. Understand, that's how I got put on about like with your Gwen Buns and her before her got put on, right? And your Alex Isleys, like,
you be digging through the crate,
and your Tiffany Gouchets and your Davions and your Sirs,
Davion.
You know what I mean? Like all these different people. I didn't know about them until I started doing my own crate digging and stuff like that. Now, mind you, these people, they're in the industry, or they got family members in the industry. You got, if you know, you just got to do some light research and you'll find out. So, but in any case, you got that, and then you also have some, remember it goes back to the popularity contest. So you have some mainstream artists that finally get released from their label, and now they're quote unquote, because we don't know, they're quote unquote independent. Yeah. But they got their fan base, so they still popping. They can go and do shows and tours. And then you got like people looking at us like, well, what are you doing? It's like, dog, this dude was already signed at 14 years old, 20 years ago. What are we doing?
He got signed, finally worked his way out of his contract, but over that time,
but he had a machine.
Exactly.
So he did what the machine told him or her to do, and then once they were finally free, they still had their listeners and followers, and either they would listen to the old stuff for nostalgia,
hopefully,
or
because they had that restriction lifted off of them. Only thing they don't own is the masters from whatever they put out over that time. So only thing they have to do is what Taylor Swift did is to go re-record. I don't know why
nobody thinks about doing that. Like even these other artists, I don't know why they don't. Just redo it.
Just go and redo it. Have somebody get you a new producer. Yeah. And just re-release the same song. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, you got so many new fans now who just now listening to that stuff for the first time. Yeah. you know what I'm saying, will go and cop that, and you'll end up getting probably like at least 5 times more than what you did the first time you put it out. Because if you have loyal listeners and people who actually fuck with you like that, they'll go and rebuy it because they fuck with you. Yeah. And that's why Taylor Swift doing so good right now, because she had her little following and everything.
Yeah, what they call them, the Swifties.
Yep, and then she re-recorded it, and they went out there and rebought it, and so she getting paid.
But they supported her,
right?
Yeah,
like
she getting, what I'm saying?
She getting double pay. She getting paid double right now for the same shit.
Man. You see what I'm saying? So Adonis, something that you said that was interesting, and I wanted to touch on it. You said agenda.
Agenda, yeah.
You said that in the very beginning. So I want to reference Tank. He's actually, I don't know if y'all noticed, he actually has his doctorate.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's actually
I didn't know that.
Dr. Baps, yeah.
Yeah.
So
he just got it, I think, last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, around that time. So he's on Drink Champs, and I had to use his piece for bro, man, he was turned. So, but I used his piece about what he was talking about in reference to love and relationships and how black love looks and how it affects, how music affects it, and how the love affects the music and how different things sound. It goes back to agenda. Mm-hmm. People kept saying, he said they don't want our love.
Yeah.
Right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want this. They want this and this and the twerking and all the other foolishness, right? So, well, it depends. Sometimes it ain't foolish. Sometimes it's beautiful.
Hey, that's where they get you. That's where they get you.
Let me not be weird. But in any case, there's times where it goes back to the nostalgia thing, and people are like, "Hey, we want to hear this." Oh man, I wish you would talk. I'm like, do you understand that some of these people are locked in with these labels?
Yeah.
And these labels that are the owners, some of them really don't look like us, or the label is under a major label, and they're locked in a certain way to where it's like you're being told what to put out.
Right.
So even if, say, you have a label, but you're not actually an independent, you may look like a storefront independent label, but you're really not, because you're either signed under Universal Music Group, Warner, or Sony. Right? Those are the big three. And they picked up all the other different labels, Arista, Bad Boy, whoever, Atlantic, and Griffin, and all the Interscope, all these different labels that we grew up hearing about. It was like a bunch of labels. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? MCA, I don't think MCA is even, RCA is still here, I think, but MCA is going, I forgot which one. But anyway, they buying all these labels, but then they're still saying, and mind you, the people that own these labels, is that my phone? So the artists, the labels that own these labels don't look like us.
Where is it? I get it.
Okay.
That's cold though.
Yeah, they don't look like us at all. And this is not being, now mind you, they just being business savvy.
Yeah.
Right? But if we knew more business, we'll be up there. Oh, sorry. If they knew more about us, I'm sorry, y'all let me know how much I'll talk.
You good. Keep going.
So, but they're a bit more business savvy, but we can learn it and figure it out too.
Right.
And I'm going to say it like this in reference to like what's going on with the labels and how this stuff looks. 2 or 3 years ago, I'm on TikTok. My TikTok basically got suspended. I don't know why. So, not TikTok, my Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So I had to make a new
saying something.
No. It wasn't my TikTok. It ain't my TikTok. TikTok is weird. Must just be looking at my stuff. I'm like, bro, okay, I see y'all. So it was one of those things. So, but on Twitter, some news reporter lady, she said, Black Lives Matter is destroying America. Okay, I know that's triggering, right? And so in my mindset, I'm like, well, what do you mean? The organization?
Right.
Like the LLC? Or the actual ground movement?
Because there's two.
Because there's two different entities.
Well, 3.
What's the third one?
The head of the LLC.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
We're not getting into it.
So I'm looking at the ground grass work movement. Even some of the brothers that were murdered and killed because they were actual black, God dog it, they were black men and they were leaders. And I'm sorry, just a real tangent right there, real quick. y'all can't. Yo, stop looking at us like we ain't sugar honey iced tea. Stop doing that. Man. You look weird and you look goofy. Listen, I don't know.
We are the creators.
Listen, I'll say this:
the originators.
Some of our beloved family members didn't listen to another person lie to them, saying that somebody that don't look like us wants you. And basically, they gaslit you. I say like that.
Listen to this, man.
They gaslit you into some BS for whatever reason to play a part in dividing us.
BS means bullshit.
Yeah, that's what it means. So they play a part in dividing us. The Joker said that a palm-colored billionaire said that our sisters are for them. But it was a lie. Okay?
I mean, we know that.
It was we know that.
We know that.
And our beloved sisters ran with it. Not a lot of them. No, actually I'm lying. A lot of them did, but another handful of our sisters said, "Wait a minute, that don't sound right." Like, and y'all the type that da-da-da-da-da. Now all of a sudden you want to da-da. It's like, but understand this. The reason why is that it goes back to agenda. We're all being characterized.
Yeah.
As the deadbeat, as the person that, you know what I'm saying? The person that isn't good, the person
which goes back to the propaganda.
The propaganda. The person isn't marriage material. I've been told that before by a chick. I was mad. I was like, bro, you knew me before when I was married the first time.
Right.
How dare you? You know what I'm saying? You're not a good father. You're not. It's like, but what are we talking about? You're in my face because you understand my worth and what I offer. What I bring to the, you see that you're not gonna gaslight me, and so when this individual lied to her own,
it's a wrap.
It was propaganda then, like, well, because then the thing is, well, who told you to do that? Because that's so weird and random. Anyways, going back to the music, so Cardi B got into it with the chick that was palm colored, okay, and so everybody throwing shade at the palm colored sister, right?
I love
that. So they throwing shade. No, shout out to the social media, man. Them kids are funny, dog. So the palm color sisters, they throwing shade. You know how we do. We gonna roast you, right?
Man,
off top.
And so I said, wait a minute. I said, why? I said, hey, let's get to the bigger picture. If you're saying Black Lives Matter, and we understand that Cardi B is black, even though she's not Black American, she's Caribbean based. She's Trinidadian and she's Dominican.
But she still looked at.
But she embodies the Black American experience.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, Cardi, she ain't with that. She like, her husband is Black American. Her daughter and their other kid, I think she got like 2 more kids, they're Black American too. So she's like, what you not finna do is that.
Right.
And so I said, wait a minute. Y'all arguing about the wrong thing. If this palm colored woman is saying Black Lives Matters is what's destroying America, let's look at it from a music perspective. Because what we know, shout out to the dude, he used to be with Soleil. He was an MC.
I can't remember.
You know who I'm talking about. It was after Genuine he got with her. But they were part of it was an old rap group from the 80s.
Ooh, I thought you were about to say Naughty by Nation.
No. Shoot.
Them.
So anyway, I said, hey, let's do some research. I forget. It's the reason why I mentioned him, because he talked about it back then, about who the labels, who actually are presidents, founders, creators of these labels, and they were all palm colored,
right?
And respectfully, they were all small hats. Okay, y'all add two together. They were palm colored and they were small hats.
They did research and found out how the machine worked. And
they weren't. No, they were always locked in from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Listen, y'all, even during slavery, they played an intricate part, and they just made it seem like I didn't do anything with that. Nah, them jokers played a huge intricate part.
Now you going in like
that's
right. Don't get me going in on that one, boy.
So what happened was, this is still with the propaganda, because that's still a real thing.
Man,
there's a person that I'm not really close with, but we're close. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
Can I say it? We're family. Okay. All right, I will say that. We're actually blood. And what this man told me, and I'm going to get back to my thing with Cardi B. He said, the prison system thingy, how the agenda is like. He said, yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if he's going to see this. so I'm not going to ever say your name. But he was like, no, that's real. That's real.
It's real.
These people do this, and they own this, and they sell music like this. And I said, what?
Yeah.
Because it was all conspiracy theory.
No.
Until we found out that, oh, shoot, it's real.
It's real.
But this is the scary part.
Man.
My man said the music industry is dangerous.
Yeah.
But it sounds weird, but it's like the reason why I'm saying it is because he's been in the industry since the 80s.
And you know, a cool part about that is, you hit it right on. The music industry has to be, in my personal opinion, when it comes to consumers, the music is the most dangerous, most lethal thing that it could do to the population. I mean, yes, we got all these chemicals in the food. Yeah. And we're going to consume that and stuff like that. But the frequencies and the shit that they be saying in these songs going into your ear and your mind, bro.
It's questionable, bro.
But you got to have that discernment also. The thing where they get you at is as a little child, you feel me? Our parents, that's why I can't stand to hear my little niece, you feel me, saying some stuff that she was listening to with, you feel me, her other.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? She come over here, it's none of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The most she gonna do is cuss after you cuss.
But the music industry, man, that has such a grasp and a grip on our people, you know, because it's so misleading, it's so misguiding due to that agenda and propaganda. Right. But with that being said, what's one of the main drivers that keep you into there, that keeps you attached with your artistry?
Right.
That's who you are. You feel me?
What's
the message too?
We're gonna get to that. So I want to finish that one thing with Cardi.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get back to that. Let me get
to that real quick. So make it long story short. I said, hey, let's do some research. We started finding out Atlantic was signed to, it's under this other label, this other company owns this other company, this other company owns this other company. Yeah. And then it went back to a whole palm-colored dude that lives in a country that we're sending money over, and they're losing a war over there. So I'll leave it like that. Man. That the woman that came from Cardi B, I got the screenshots. Yeah. She said, hey, I want to talk to you. I'm like, I'm not nobody special. Man. Oh, because you're a believer and you seem like you're a nice person. I started doing research on her. I'm like, okay, she's a news reporter. Okay, she's from a different lineage. Yeah. And you know, she's affiliated with the palm colored small hat people. Bias. And I said
she's looking through different lenses.
So I'm the only one that actually I did some Google research. I was like, that's dangerous. I don't feel comfortable with that. I had a weird pit in my stomach. I was like, something ain't right about that. Yeah. I told her I'm not gonna talk to her. You didn't keep your word. I'm like, look, man, I said respectfully, I'm gonna have to decline because it didn't feel right. Now to answer your question concerning, it's my heart. And this plays a part in knowing what you believe you're called and created to do on this earth. Every single person on this planet, I believe, has a God-given purpose. Right. It may be, I'll say, like, from our lens, it could be on a small level, it could be on a great level. Yeah. But we're all called to do something. And so with me, as tired as I am sometimes, and frustrated and angry about like why it's in me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to preach, but I will say the scripture says a few things. Before we were in the womb, God knew you. While you were in the womb, God knew you. Before the foundations of the earth was ever created, He already had you in mind, and He had already gave all of us a purpose.
That's tough there.
The issue is that we deal with people. We're living a human experience. I ain't trying to preach. I'm being real. You know, we're literally spirits
living a human experience.
Having a human experience. So we already had our God-given purpose placed in us already. You feel me? Bro, don't do that. Because that's going to make me want to preach. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's going to make me want to preach. You fucking don't do it, man. Come here real quick. No, but for real. So basically, this is my perspective of it. When we hit the earth, we have amnesia.
Yeah.
That's just it's a weird concept that I have. Soon as can I say nut? Can I say
yeah.
Nut? Okay. Soon as our daddy nutted and our mama, we instantly as a seedling already had amnesia. This is my mindset. And so now we have to figure, when we grow up, life happens. Right? But even though life is happening and certain things we cannot control because we have adults at a certain point in our life controlling and shaping and doing weird stuff or doing good things. But in that, I believe that God, so when I'm saying God, let me differentiate. Yahweh, Yahweh. All right? So Buddy is like, okay, I see, I'm trying to make sure that this person, I still want to steer them a certain way. I still want to mold and shape them. I still want to make sure they didn't forget what I created in them to do. I'm going to put them in the situation is bad at home. Let me bring a classmate from high school, middle school to interject and say, hey, bro, you like computers, dog? I got this program called MTV Music Generator. You a nerd? You like computers? Maybe you can figure it out. I got started producing at 15, right? Just because I like computers at that point in time. I was like, so he gave it to me. I took it and ran with it. 2004, I'm in Korea. I get introduced to FL Studio. Been producing all that stuff since then. Or another brother, he's dead now, so I can say, he used to sing for the Mafia back home in Michigan. He told me that story. And so my mom was like, at this point in time, I think my stepfather is in prison. This brother, his name is Brother Albert Jones. He passed on. But my mom was like, he has a studio. It's the first time in some sort of a studio. So even though like I could have been like just another statistic back home in Saginaw, Michigan, you know what I'm saying? Certain things were happening to where God is like, okay, I'm gonna bring this person in. It's still a choice at a certain point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna entertain that. Cool.
But what God and the universe do, it keep on sending you different things. Like if you miss it the first time, it's gonna send it again until you catch on. However long it takes until you catch on. I'm like, oh, okay, well maybe I was supposed to do this in the first place.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, as soon as we hit the earth, as far as like being in our mother's womb, we have amnesia. I believe, this is just me, this ain't even scriptural, but I believe that as a spirit, we're already at our grown selves, right? And we're talking to God. He made us and formed us and shaped us with his little spirit. And we're looking at this huge giant. I don't know if you guys are like comic book lovers or whatever. It's like looking at the Celestials for like Marvel movies or whatever. So there's this huge thing. This Galacticus or something like that, right? So you look at this huge thing, mold you and shape you like a little speck to him. And he said, hey, I have a purpose and a destiny and a calling for your life. This is what I want you to do. And I believe even at that point in time, because you're so enamored, because you know what I'm saying, this is all you know at this point in time, you're like, hey, I'll take it. Now he's going to say, hey, if you take it, this is what's going to happen. Da, 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 da. Like it's almost like a blueprint is already happening already. Like your life is going to happen because nothing surprise God, but it always surprises us.
Yeah.
Always surprises us. And so it's like, well, this is going to happen. Da, 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 da. Are you sure? It's like a video game. Do you want to accept this mission? You know what I'm saying? Or Mission Impossible. Will you accept this mission? And 9 times out of 10, spirit wise, we're like, yeah. And then, what?
It's on and popping.
We wake up and we just like. Because think about it, when babies are little, we're like, they always have this weird, what's going on? It's almost like...
The crazy thing is that we was just talking about, like, babies and everything just yesterday, how it's just like, I believe the movie Baby Geniuses.
Yeah.
That whole 6 months, like when they 6 months to a year time where they know everything and everything and how to do everything and everything else like that. They're aware, they can speak, they know what's going on until they reach a certain point. To where, like you said, amnesia hits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Amnesia hit, they don't know how to do nothing no more. They turn into a baby.
Now they got to relearn because of the human experience. So, like, I remember my daughter, I said something to her, and at 5 months, she said, okay. And after that, she never spoke again because I was so shocked.
Right.
Look, the story.
You probably started her. Man, I ain't supposed to be saying that right now.
The story that I told them the other day is like, my son was 9, 10, like 10, 11 months old. He had just started walking.
Wow.
And my mom had this entertainment system that reached above my head.
Yeah.
And he liked to get my PlayStation controllers and bite the rubber off the analog and everything. So I had just bought new controllers, and what I did was, like, it's just me and him in the house at the time.
Okay.
I put both my controllers up here so that he couldn't reach them, so he couldn't get to them. I walk into the kitchen to make him a bottle, make him something to drink. I come back, he's sitting on the floor chewing on one of my controllers.
How did he get up there?
And I was like, like, how did you give me my controller, bro? Right. How did you get this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I put it back up, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, I know I put it up there. Like, I know I put both of them. I just put them up there before I went in the kitchen. I'm looking around like,
how did you get up there?
And mind you, it's above my head.
And you're taller than me.
Right.
So, I'm really like, how did you get up there?
I'm 6'2". So for him to get up over my head at 10 month old, how did you do that? And until this day, I remember that vividly because I still have no clue how he got my controller.
Bro, again, man, it goes back to what you were saying in reference to the baby geniuses.
Yeah.
They're aware. That's something I even prayed over my daughter. I was like, I want her to, like, not forget. I want her to be well aware. That might be a jacked up kind of prayer because of the situation with what I'm going through right now. Because I can see it on her face. It's like she's 2, but she sees what's going on.
Yeah.
And she can't articulate it.
Right.
And it breaks my heart because I'm like, this is not what I had in mind for, you know what I'm saying, the family. Not at all. Especially with my second marriage. Not at all.
Life be lifing.
And so, but that's something I pray. I was like, God, I want her to kind of like remember everything. I want her to already be like, you know how some kids, they call them indigo kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. But basically, they're very spiritually aware. That's all it is. They're way more sensitive than like the average person.
Well, what do you want your music and to do for her? Like, what kind of legacy do you want it to lay out for her? Like, is it something that you want her to take over? Is it something that you want to profit enough to where she don't have any worries? Like, what is it that you want your music and your art to do for you in order to do for her and any other children you may have in the future? Both
of those things that you mentioned. I would like to create a legacy for her if she so chooses to keep it going, but be able to be in a position financially with my music, even if it's not with my music, something to where it sets her up. You know
not generally artistically, but
for whatever. If she doesn't want to go the route, now she can sing a little bit. She plays. She loves instruments and she loves that. So, but even if she's like, I'm not interested in that, but I'm interested in something else. I would like to put her in a position financially to where she can figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Do you see yourself on stage, like selling out places like the Gun Arena and things like that?
It's still a dream. It's not like my own show and singing and people knowing my lyrics. I mean, what artist don't want that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's still like, just pay me right, because that's another story. I ain't gonna even get into that, man. Just Google John Bellion and it'll make sense. Man. John Bellion podcast interview, and he'll tell you the whole thing about Live Nation. So I'll leave it like that. But yes, to answer your question,
just have your prices,
bro,
and stick to those prices to what you feel you worth. So don't bend. Don't break on that. Don't say, I need a couple of dollars. And that's another thing that I was saying when we was talking about TLC. Like, make sure that if you got a contract in front of you, get you a lawyer.
Yeah, man.
Get you a lawyer. Even if you gotta go ahead and shoot them 10% of that contract when you sign on for them to get it, because that 10% has nothing on what you're gonna get in the future and everything. Pay that little crummy ass 10% so that they can make sure that you getting what you're supposed to be getting and that they're not playing you.
Yeah,
that goes along with everything else that you're doing too. Make sure that you pay attention to the fine print. Like you going out here, you doing shows and everything. Make sure you read, or make sure you like don't fuck a handshake deal. Get fuck a handshake and word of mouth deal. Like even if you have to write that shit down on a piece of paper and with job 2 right there,
and scan that mother with your phone.
That's what you have to do.
Man.
Make sure you protect yourself when it comes to this stuff, because they'll say one thing and say another thing when it's a handshake deal, because it's your word against theirs. And at the end of the day, when it's that, they're going to win.
They will straight gas.
They're going to win. Yeah. So make sure, like with these contracts, make sure with these shows and these events that you guys are doing and everything, if you're supposed to get paid for it, make sure all terms and everything are written down in plain English and black and white with signatures on there, so you have a legally binding contract. You don't have to have a lawyer, or you don't have to have it notarized. All you have to do is to have 3 copies, have you sign it, have them sign it, and have a witness sign it right then and there. And all 3 of y'all have a copy of it, and it's notarized.
Look,
here you go.
Look, man,
that's all you have to do. Like protect yourself.
And with that being said, I think it's a good time for the plug session, man.
Plug session. So the plug session is what do you have that's new going on right now, and where can they find you, and where can they book you?
Okay, so I have 2 songs out, new songs. I released them February 14th of this year. One is called Unconditional. It's a remix to an older song.
Okay.
So Unconditionally, and then another song called Magic. Has a couple of features. The first one is a young lady by the name of Angel Vernice, and
talking about
my cousin Stocks. That's his name, Stocks.
Okay.
And Magic, it's another joint with features. It's a young lady from Miami. Her name is Yasmin Matri. She's a soul singer, R&B soul singer from Miami, which is weird because it's Miami. And then a fellow brother he's not like a brother in arms directly, but he served in the army as well.
Okay.
His name is Soul Quest Original. He's actually based out of Savannah, Georgia. He's a spoken word artist. I'm surprised you don't know who he is, 'cause I think he probably came up here a couple times. I think
possibility.
If I show you a picture of him, it'll make sense. You might recognize his face. But yeah, so that's about it. I am finishing up my project called Love Languages. A lot of singles have already been out, but I actually plan on having like a merch thing going on in reference to like having CDs to bring back the nostalgia feeling.
Yes, sir.
So
he forgetting something too.
What am I forgetting?
He forgetting something.
What am I forgetting? My social media? I'm
talking about before the social media is something else that you did. Don't you got a book?
Oh, I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that. So I do have a book. It's called Why Love We're Created for Relationship. I released it in 2018. It's still pretty relevant to.
Where can we find that?
You can find it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yep. So it's Jarard Kenneth, Jarard Kenneth. That's my artist name. That's my name as the author. And it's Why Love We're Created for Relationship. And I'm actually working on another book, and I think y'all will like it whenever I get it done. But I have this feeling that I'm going to have to co-write it with somebody else for it to make sense. So, it's safe for me to say that. I have a feeling that I have to write it with a woman. That's for it to make sense.
The crazy thing is like I put that out there that I'm working on a novel called Soulmates Through Spoken Word, and I needed a woman to co-write it for me because not only because I wanted like certain conversations that's had between women. I want her to go off and get her friends and have the conversation and get the actual reactions and get the actual verbiage and the things that they actually would say that we don't get to hear. I want everything about this book to be authentic.
Right.
Like authentic all the way through. Not some stuff that I made up in my head. Oh, they back there and they saying this. No, I want to know what y'all were actually saying or what's actually really being authentic. Said. What y'all actually thinking and everything, so I can put some stuff in there to where another woman will read it. I'm like, hey, that's exactly what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that to where that they can connect on that level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. And so it's an interesting title. I'll tell y'all offline. It's an interesting title. I think y'all gonna like it, but there's a reason why I'm gonna need a woman to co-write it with me.
It's hard. It's
no, 'cause I'm gonna say
it's
like
hard
this,
to find them. You gotta like to find somebody that's gonna be as dedicated with you about that book as you are.
But also be understanding, because in this case the goal is to promote healthy relationships. And versus what we usually seeing. Like I still got my podcast, but in my podcast I ain't never debate nobody. Man, I ain't got time for that, bro.
He got a podcast that didn't even say anything about the podcast.
Yeah. It's supposed to be different.
Like this a plug session. He not trying to plug himself. I don't know what's going on.
Man. So it's supposed to be different. It's spelled the way it sounds, supposed to be different. I kind of slowed up on doing a lot of stuff. I've been doing more things, talking about music and talking about the music business, because I didn't say kind of like everything I need to say concerning relationships. Technically, well, my Facebook got hacked. My old Facebook got hacked. That was crazy.
Yeah, when I tell you this dude be on live.
But I used to be on a live
all the time. He'll be on live real quick and everything. So,
and say what I need to say. But
like, that social media is what it's still. Jarard Kenneth.
Yep, it's still Jarard Kenneth. So the thing is, like, with the podcast now, y'all gonna have to like look at the back catalog to hear like what I talk about relational wise, because I'm like, I didn't say everything that I think I need to say, and this before I even knew about like all these other people, you Kevin Samuels and I didn't know who these people were.
You spent a solid 2, maybe 3 years, if I can remember right. Like just going in on that, and that's around when you was working on your book too. Yeah, when you dropped your book and everything, like you like 2-3 years straight. And this is before you met your daughter's mother.
Yep, way before.
Yeah, and you was up there dropping all these like man, like you having lives and having conversations with people and everything about that kind of stuff and everything too.
And I didn't know nothing about these other people that was doing it. My mindset was I wish I would see more people, not from a debate perspective, but saying, hey, this needs to be fixed. Right. And then I started seeing more people. We were probably all doing it at the same time, but just didn't know. Mm-hmm. So when I started finding out about it, people was like, oh, okay, cool. Cool. What am I going to say? So you got that.
Platforms that they can find your music on.
Everything. Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Amazon, Rhapsody, whatever.
Everything.
Literally everything. Even Bandcamp. I have a Bandcamp. I do have a Bandcamp. And Bandcamp is easier to download music now. So, and that's going to be way more supportive.
Bandcamp, if you want to I thought you had like an actual Bandcamp. I'm up here like, man, this dude going in.
No, it's called Bandcamp.com. So Bandcamp is for independent artists primarily. And so it's just another platform for them to sell their music directly.
Other artists know they'll know when they hear that Bandcamp, but now I know.
Yeah. So the beautiful thing with Bandcamp is that you can pay the price of what I'm charging for the song, but then you also have the option to say, "No, this is fire, dog. I need to give you more."
Yeah.
Right? You have that platform was for that.
Okay.
If I want to do live stuff and have that's another game plan of mine later on, like really getting musicians and getting them together and doing live. If I can't do like a concert, have a digital online concert.
See, we was just talking about that too.
Matter of fact, we're gonna talk about this after this.
All right, bet.
I just said that to L Dot the other day.
Yeah, for sure.
About the same thing, letting them know.
L Dot.
Yeah, we just interviewed. What was that? 2 days ago?
Yeah,
3 days ago?
Yeah, I just talked to him. I talked to him about the same thing. Once I get this camera down, I'm gonna have a green screen. I'm gonna set up. We're gonna talk and we're gonna set up how you want your stage to look like behind you. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna like sell like 20 like tickets for the link to go and watch it for like $20-$25 across and everything. And that'll get you a 30-minute. That'll get them a 30-minute live show right there streaming that only they can see because you're gonna sell them the link to be able to see it and everything.
Word. I will say this: when that happens, I advise you guys to don't come in blindsided when y'all hear my stuff and you're like, well, what the heck is this? Why don't you go
check it out?
Check it out first.
No, the thing is, my thing is like, I'm glad somebody else is on the same page because it's going to help with, like, it's hard for people to get out and do open mic nights now. So if we could set it up to where it's more digital than anything, you know what I'm saying? The artist could come. All you need is the artist and the camera. Yeah. And then you set.
But I still want to interact with those people.
Right. You still be able to. It's still gonna be live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? So I'm like, I want to read comments and they say something. I'm like,
it's gonna be like try to give like a 45 minute to a session, 45 minutes to an hour show. They pay for it. They able to get the link.
Yep.
And
it's
everything.
A show. It's an actual event. You feel me? You gotta think if I buy my ticket to this event, I'm gonna get my drink too. I'm gonna get my little snacks, and I'm gonna watch the artist that I want to watch perform it. And then if I can actually interact with this dude, that's even harder, bro. You feel me? That's even harder.
Look, man.
So like I would probably have somebody sitting there while it's live and like, ooh, got a question for you. Like after the song, got a question for you. Ask a question. And let you answer when you right there and everything. Probably have like an hour session with like 30 minutes worth of songs, but the other 30 minutes is like in live interaction.
Now I'm gonna say this because y'all know I'm a talker. I'm gonna need y'all help to reel me back in before I go on these days. Because they gonna ask me some question. It's gonna be super deep. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna look at y'all.
But the thing is, you're not gonna be reading the question yourself. We're gonna give you the questions to answer.
Okay, cool.
So if we know that question is gonna go that deep, I'm like, we're gonna leave that alone.
Okay.
You're saying that one.
But I let L Dot know. Like L Dot is even down for that too. So like hearing you say that, like that's like we could probably collab on that. And have it to where like you can either go here, like because you over here in San Antonio in the south, I'm up there in Dallas, in the north.
If I don't mind driving up there.
Hey, look, I just put new shocks on my whip. I'm going everywhere. Everywhere. I'm telling you, I bring the camera. That thing is portable. All this is portable. We can set up a live anywhere.
Look, I'm with it, man. I would love to have. This is something I'm not good at doing, and it's networking in reference to musicians.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something like, because my mindset is like, I don't want, and this is for any musician that watches this, this has always been my heart. I'm like, I want to make sure I pay you, not nickel and dime you.
Right.
I want to make sure I pay you because a lot of you musicians are so dope. It's like, long as you understand the concept of my song, I'll let you have creative space and just do a crazy minor ninth sustained diminished chord that wasn't even in the production. I'm like, yo, that's nasty.
That you gonna roll with.
Yeah, but I'm gonna roll with it because I love their creativeness as well.
But see, the thing is too, when it comes to doing that too, by charging to get the link and everything.
Okay.
Both the artist and the person and the person that's streaming and everything, both would get paid. Just like split it 50%. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
If there's anybody, if that's possible, because that's a lot of equipment. It's like some singers, couple singers, and some musicians, and it still have my tracks. So I can set that all up.
But the thing is, you can use this for all of that.
Okay.
And it's still the Artists at Work podcast. You feel me? We can promote anybody. You feel me? Like if we doing a live performance, you got somebody right there. Hey.
Okay.
Artists at Work. What you do?
Yeah.
All right, so bro, you got any live performances or anything coming up? You want to drop the dates that your the days at your podcast when you dropping everything on there real quick?
Live performances in San Antonio? No, I can't because it's a bigger city. So
where can they book you?
Man, y'all can book me anywhere. Just hit me up.
There you go.
Now, mind you, some of my music is a little bit different. You just gotta do your research, understand what type of things I'm doing. If you want a song where it's a nice little vibe, it is what it is. I do things in Spanish. I got a song in Japanese where it's anime based. If you got an anime convention, I don't know why y'all haven't yet heard the song Waifu. Oh my God, check it out.
Listen, like the intro to this episode right here, to this specific episode,
bro, ain't no chump.
I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Hey. So like when you hear that, it's him right here. That's why we had to get him on this season because he hooked it up for the Hispanic fans that we're gonna have to stretch it out.
For them, man.
To stretch it out and everything. That let them know that hey, they're welcome here too. So I appreciate that and everything too for dropping that. So like you said, at Jarard Kenneth on everything: Facebook, IG, TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You could catch him on YouTube. You could catch him on all of it and everything, and reach out to him because we starving artists around. Well, we're not starving, but we are artists out here, and this is how we making our paper out here.
What's the name of that book again on Amazon?
Why Love? We're created for relationship.
Anything else you want to spit out there to the people as far as a word of wisdom, a word of advice?
Be your best authentic self. Don't be afraid of correction. Correction doesn't always mean that you're doing something wrong, but it can also mean that you need to do something better.
There we go. With that being said, checking out from my brother, the Money Man, Buddha Boo.
What's up, it's Buddha Boo.
This your boy Adonis with 2 eyes, Mr. Watch Me Work. Checking out with my boy Jarard. Thank y'all.
Great, man. Great.